Hey folks, welcome to Seawaywhiskywire. It was a mail call today, folks. I had a knock on the door, a package came, and it was from my friends over at Macaloney's Island Distillery. So go watch the intro, come on back, we'll crack into this and see what they sent over. Stick around, guys. Well, hey folks, thanks for coming back after the intro. I'm Tyler, and like I said, it was a mail call day today at the Seaway household. Mrs. Seaway texted me at work and let me know there was a package here from British Columbia. I knew exactly what it was. I didn't know exactly what was coming from the folks over at Macaloney's. I had been communicating with them, and they were nice enough to send a bottle over to the channel for me to take a look at. So, you know, as soon as the time was right, I rushed home and ripped the package open, and I was super excited to see what was inside here, and really wanted to share it with you guys. So, not really one of my more common unboxing videos here. You know, usually I would have the box down here, we'd crack it open together, go through it and all that kind of stuff, but I just couldn't contain my excitement. After all, you know, Macaloney's Island Distillery is one of the most celebrated and awarded distilleries in all of Canada. So I was super excited to crack into it. So we'll take a look. I'm going to take the bottle out so we can at least see that part of it here. It's a beautiful bottle, and we'll kind of walk through that, and I'll probably get a nice video and put it over like I normally do. This is going to be kind of like one of my first impressions video, guys. So we're going to crack into this bottle and go through the color, the nose and taste notes. Again, I don't have too many initial notes, just kind of what I've read off the packaging already, and that's pretty much about it. But I am excited, and I'll tell you why. We're going to get into what they sent. So what did my friends over at Macaloney send me to take a look at here? They sent me a version of the Peat Project Single Cask series. It's a peated single malt whiskey, distilled smoked sugar kelp in Washington peat Ex-Bourbon Cask. And this is just on the front, guys. There's tons of information on the front here. ABV stamp of 46% ABV with a ppm scale, or phenol parts per million, of 54. This was cask number 880, bottle number 47 out of 250 of that cask, and it was bottled on March 25th. And right again, non-chill filtered, no color added, naturally presented just the way we like it, and it's all on the box. We haven't even gotten to the label or the packaging here. There's some lovely information on the distillery, lovely information on the Peat Project and what they're trying to accomplish with that, and then some character and tasting notes. I did not read any of that stuff, guys, but what I did read was a little bit about it on a card that they had sent over. So again, I'm just going to walk through quickly this release here of the Peat series, or the Peat Project Single Cask series. So again, it is Single Cask, Distillery smoked sugar kelp, Washington peat ex-bourbon, and naturally presented at 46% ABV. Sugar kelp is infused with the Washington peat at the distillery, and they smoke the barley to 54 ppm. And it's locally sourced BC barley, as it always is, locally sourced grains for Macaloney's there. And it's matured by the sea at their distillery, so you're going to have that character, that terroir coming in from the Pacific Ocean and those maritime notes. The sugar kelp seaweed was harvested just off the coast of Vancouver Island, and the peat source was sourced at Olympic Peninsula at Washington State. So again, what a level of transparency these guys are giving us, guys. Not only are they telling us where they're getting the seaweed, where they're getting the peat, and how they're smoking it, but just disclosing pretty much every aspect that you could ever want to know about the whiskey. And it's just so great to see that. Now, another thing that I'm really excited about here, this is the Ex-Bourbon Cask version of the Peat Project. The previous release of the Peat Project won best Canadian single malt at the Canadian Whiskey Awards this year, a few months ago. So I was really excited and really stoked to see this. Matt from Whiskey on the West Coast did an absolute great video on that. And I encourage you guys to go check that out. I'm not sure you can still get that release, but this release here is definitely available. You can go on their website right now and pick this up. So yeah, guys, I am super stoked to get into this and take a look. So why don't you give me a minute here? I'm going to crack the top on this this version of the Peat Project here, this Ex-Bourbon Cask. And I'm going to pour it, and then I'm going to maybe give myself, don't mention anything about age, I'm going to give myself, I'm going to give it the respect that I'm going to give it 10 minutes to rest, and then I'm going to come back into the bar here, and we will take a look at it together for a nose. But before we do that, I'm going to pour it, and we'll get a nice pop here. Oh, beautiful cork pop. Pour myself a beautiful, healthy dram. And I'm going to let this hang out for 10 minutes. So I'm going to go tidy up the bar a little bit here, maybe tidy up out back or whatever. I'm going to give myself 10 minutes, and and then I'm going to come back. We're going to go through with the colors. So you're not going to get to see any of that because I'm going to edit it. So without further ado, transition. All right, folks, it's been about 10 minutes since I poured this release of the Peat Project from Macaloney's Island Distillery. I've let it sit in here in the bar. I've let it aerate and acclimate, and now we can take a look at it here. So without further ado, let's go and look at the color of this. Again, first impressions, I poured it and I kind of walked away from it. So what are we looking at here? Naturally presented, no color added, no chill filtration. It's almost got a bit of a haze to it, even just sitting in the glass, which is nice to see. Pale color, pale gold. Ex-Bourbon Cask matured. I think it's getting a lot of nice, beautiful, natural color from that bourbon cask. Yeah. All right. Well, guys, super excited to get this. Super excited to crack it and pour it, and have a bottle of beautiful Macaloney single malt on my bar, peated nonetheless. So let's take a look at the nose and see exactly what we can get out of this character. Again, naturally sourced grains. We've got sourced peat from Washington State, and we've got seaweed, sugar kelp seaweed that's been infused into that peat from the coast of Vancouver Island. So it should be pretty interesting. Let's get on to the nose and see what we can get out. Wow. Very Scotch-like, very briny, earthy peat, maybe a little bit of that medicinal peat to it too. Beautiful nose though. It reminds me kind of an old Pulteney, like 12-year-old or an 18-year-old, from that briny character. Not so much on the peat. The peat is very earthy and phenolic and almost a bit medicinal. It kind of has that bit of edge to it of an Isla or a Speyside peat. I would kind of put it in line with like a Ben Romick and a Lagavulin, maybe, kind of like in there. It'd be like if you took like 75% Lagavulin peat, or Port Ellen peat, and then you took that Ben Romick peat and you kind of smushed it together. That's kind of what I'm getting on the nose from it there. And then I'm getting some lovely sea breeze. I'm getting some honey. Very, very full caramel notes and brown sugar. Some apples, pears. Maybe a bit of cream soda on there, like a bit of like that creamy, like the maltiness or the creaminess off the top of like a good craft cream soda. Some black tea, maybe. Almost get an edge of a white grape, like a green grape on there as well. Just lots going on. And then some more salt at the back end. And it's like a real like smash you in the face wave, right off the sea. Very nice indeed. Wow. And I don't know, going for our close look here. Look at the beautiful legs, just from kind of swirling a little bit in the glass. Whew. All right, guys. Not gonna lie, pretty excited about this one here. A peated version of a Canadian single malt, Single Cask, sent over to me to have a look at from my friends over at Macaloney's Island Distillery in beautiful British Columbia. Yeah, looking forward to this, guys. So hopefully you got something good in your glass you're going to drink along with. Maybe you got some Macaloney's you want to pour and experience this. So with me, I encourage you to join me. Cheers, and to your health, and let's get into it. Wow. I might need a moment. First off, beautiful mouthfeel. Thick, creamy, sticks to the walls of your mouth. and it just hangs on. Briny, salty, peaty, and the peat is very, very much that. It's the earthy peat is still there, but it's even less now. It's really more of that island peat. I'm not going to compare it to an Isle of Peat. Like it is more, medicinal, more campfire, more sea breeze and seaweedy and salty like that. But it's a bit different. I would compare it again, kind of to a Lagavulin, sort of. Like it's got that ashy component, but then it's got this kind of like earthiness, this herbaceous note in it as well. And it's kind of a flavor all on its own, but it really has the character of an Isle malt, which is, obviously for me, I love. I gotta go for one more sip, guys. That was a pretty good sip too that I had to kick things off, which I normally go in pretty small to do it, but I'm glad I went in for a big one. This one here will take a more liberal approach. So one more sip. They don't disclose the age on here. Maybe they do. Again, guys, first impressions, and I didn't have a whole lot of time to go through the notes. I just kind of read a little bit of a card they gave me with some information on it, and really, on the packaging and the bottle, there's enough information there for you. But it drinks like a well-aged single malt Scotch. I'd probably place it somewhere around 10 to 12 years. Smooth, no rough edges to it, and again, once you get past the peat and the lovely salty sea breeze, that saline, the seaweed, the ash, you're getting some lovely notes of honey, some caramel notes in there. I'm getting those orchard fruits, some apples, some pears. There's a bit of melon on there too, I would say, like green melon. I'm definitely getting some minerality there to it. It's really kind of more like a not like a metallic note, but like just that real salty, really. I guess there is kind of a bit of a metallic note to it there, but it's not like a bitter note or like that. It just has that bit of minerality to it there. Again, like if you're drinking like a bottle of mineral water, you really have all those kind of like other little pieces of metal and stuff or whatever floating around in there. I'm rambling a little bit here, but it kind of has like that profile of like some mineral water. And then on the back end, there's a bit of spice. Not a whole lot of spice going on there though. Clove and cinnamon and nutmeg and a little bit of a cayenne, just a little bit, enough to give you a hug. And really, I kind of attribute that more towards the Ex-Bourbon Casks. But yeah, beautiful palate on the Macaloney's Island Distillery. And again, I love how these guys will name this stuff and make me try and remember it here. But yeah, beautiful release from Macaloney's, the Peat Project Single Cask Series, distilled, smoked, sugar kelp, Washington peat, ex-bourbon, Canadian peated single malt whiskey. Beautiful expression from my friends over at Macaloney's, and my goodness, thank you so much for sending this over to the channel. I can't wait to put a review out. I can't wait to put a formal review out, and I've got some plans for some really top-notch Canadian single malt and Canadian whiskey coming up here, especially with Canada Day approaching on the horizon. It's also Minnie Seaway's birthday coming up on Canada Day too, for those of you who didn't know. So yeah, I got big plans to share this one again. It's going to make some lists, guys, I'm telling you right now, and it's definitely one you want to go check out. So if you haven't gone to Macaloney's Island Distillery, go check them out on the web. I'll put the information down below in the comments. I'll also put it probably in the video here too, but go check these guys out. This is supreme. This is some of the best Canadian single malt I've had, and I've only had a few, guys, but I've only had a few, and this is definitely right near the top, if it's not already at the top. And this peated version is something I'm going to keep going back to. If you like your peat, you love it. And you know what? If I take that profile of the peat and I take it and I stick it away, if that's what every release of Macaloney's is going to be like, especially in an ex-bourbon cask, highlighting the profile like that, highlighting the distillate like that, my gosh, it's excellent. So, that's two releases I've tried at Macaloney's. Both are excellent, and I encourage you to go out and check out this great Canadian distillery. And I hope you do, and I hope you go pick up a bottle. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. They were nice enough to send this over, but you know what, guys? it's a great product, and I want to tell you guys about it. So go check them out, please. You'll be glad you did. And if you like what we're doing here at Seaway Whiskey Wire, you guys know the drill. Like and subscribe down below. And hey, don't forget to check me out on Instagram at Seaway Whiskey Wire for more content. And if you guys are still hanging around this long in the video, watching me make all sorts of funny faces and really enjoy this premium Canadian single malt, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Love coming down to the basement, trying something new, something Canadian, and something fantastic after a long day's work. So, yeah. Well, guys, I'm gonna go finish up and take my time with this one and start getting to know this bottle, because trust me, you'll be seeing a lot more of it in the future on Seaway Whiskey Wire if I have anything to say about it, which I do. All right, guys, take care, all the best, and I'll see you around. Bye for now.